Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Executive Director, such an honor to have you here. And thank you for the kind words. And I will also like to thank your extremely competent crew for carrying out this investigation and analyzing our country's energy system. You are always the most prominent organization in this field. And we are very encouraged to have such an interesting report to analyze in depth also after today. From our side, this process has been a true learning experience and the opportunity to identify further improvements will carry on after this. And thank you so much for the work that you have done so far. And thank you for coming here and inviting all these people to this important discussion. When reading the in-depth review for Sweden, it is obvious that much has happened since the last time, 5 years ago. And this is true for Sweden, it's true for Europe, and it's true for the world. In these 5 years, the EU has adopted its historic climate and energy package. And for the first time, we have legislation in place that sets ambitious climate and energy goals at a European level. Because this is not a Swedish challenge. It's a challenge for Europe and the world. And during the same 5 years, scientists have presented reports telling that we must reduce our carbon footprint and that we are actually facing disaster and we are facing some unknowns in the future if we are not taking action. Just one example is last year's report from the World Bank, and also the World Energy Outlook from the IEA is a proof of the major challenge we can see in front of us. The reports are arguing that it will not be possible to limit the temperature rise to 2 degrees. And now it's time for action. Some action has been taken, but it's going far too slow. In Sweden, we have rolled out an agreement from the government in the Alliance coalition. It's historic, and it gives stability and reliable political conditions for the market of energy. The climate and energy package that the government has come together for has firmly established unique and long-term reliable conditions for the energy markets. And the energy policy is based on 3 cornerstones. We shall have an energy system that is ecologically sustainable. We shall ensure greater competitiveness, and we shall increase the security of supply. These 3 pillars will help us to reach our ambitious goals for carbon neutrality in 2050. Sweden has come a long way. We have cut the use of fossil fuels from accounting to 80% of our total energy consumption back in 1970, actually when I was born, to less than 35% today. We have phased out oil and other fossil fuels in almost all of our heating. And we have managed to combine economic growth with a decrease in greenhouse gas emissions. This is something, when we meet international delegations from different countries, that truly make people stunned. And we have come a long way. And today, almost half of our energy comes from renewable energy sources. And our shift in energy consumption is a direct consequence of a conscious mix of policy tools that has aimed at increasing energy efficiency and promoting renewable energy sources. And our energy mix, as Executive Director pointed out, is much more differentiated today than it was 40 years ago, and therefore much more robust. And our main instruments in achieving this has been technology-neutral policy, such as carbon tax and green certificates, electricity certificate system to support renewable electricity production. The green certificates are especially highlighted in the in-depth review of Sweden as being a cost-effective and efficient measure. And I fully agree with this conclusion. The green certificates provide the market with a strong signal to invest, and at the same time, at a low cost for consumers. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we need support, public support, for the political action. And by being technology neutral, the market has first chosen to invest in the lowest hanging fruits. And for Sweden, it has been electricity generated by biomass and wind power. And we have some remarkable results. Since 2006, the biomass-generated electricity has increased by 50%, and during the same time, wind power has sevenfolded. It has been sevenfolded. And today, almost 50% of our energy is renewable. So we are very close to already reaching the 2020 target. This is the highest proportion in the European Union and amongst the highest proportions in the world. We are also well on track to achieve our goal of 10% renewables in the transport sector, and also to achieve our goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by 2020, compared to the base year 1990. However, as the International Energy Agency is pointing out, when it comes to increasing energy efficiency by 20%, there is still some steps to be taken to reach that target. Since this government took office in 2006, we have developed clear policies to improve energy efficiency in Sweden. In every municipality, there are local climate and energy advisors. In energy-intensive industries, we've had a much appreciated program for energy efficiency called the PFE program. We have clear and predictable energy taxes that have boosted the efforts to use the energy much more efficiently. And in total, we are investing more than 500 million Swedish krona every year in energy efficiency. And just recently, Sweden and the rest of the EU adopted the Energy Efficiency Directive. This new directive creates a framework to deepen and broaden our efforts in this area. And it will have to take place all across the energy system, from energy conversion, through transmission and distribution, and all the way to the end users, the consumers. And this comprehensive and inclusive approach is very valuable and something that the Swedish government fully welcomes. Right now, we are working together with the industry, environmental organizations, academia, and other interested parties on how to best implement the new directive. But one thing is already clear. This directive will lead to new as well as enhanced measures and instruments. We need to tackle our challenges as well in the transport sector, but also in our industry, service sector, and in our homes. And I am confident that we will be able to rise to that challenge and will create an even more comprehensive approach to energy efficiency in Sweden. And just as a free remark, I could say that I think we have been rather spoiled in this country with cheap energy all the time. And we really need to consider this challenge, all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, an in-depth review like this gives us the opportunity to look at ourselves from the perspective of an outsider, but not any outsider. For many of us here today, the common Nordic market for electricity is something we take for granted. We need to remind ourselves that our common market is a truly remarkable achievement, a world-leading one that many others are looking at and trying to learn from. In fact, the Nordic market model is the most harmonized international electricity market in the world. And more than 70% of Nordic electricity consumption is traded at the Nord Pool. And every year, the Nord Pool trades as much electricity as the city of Oslo consumes in 40 years. Since the liberalization of the Nordic market, we have developed it into the well-functioning market it is today. And with more countries participating and more electricity generation, we can plan and balance our common energy system even better. The integrated energy system makes us better prepared for the future. Together we can better adapt to and face the many challenges that are ahead of us. And just as a personal remark to that, I would say that we are abundant of each other when it comes to energy in the Nordic market. So at some stage, we are importing, and at some stages, we are exporting. And that is actually a true strength of this market. It enhances the security of supply. We have pointed out a clear direction with ambitious goals, but we also had a lot of help from consumers. Consumers demanding green technology, demanding green engineering and sustainable growth. And one of the greatest assets in Sweden and in the Nordic region is our active and demanding consumers. This is something to build on. And we certainly intend to do so further on as well. The Swedish government is truly committed. The common retail market is very important for the consumers, and we are truly striving for that in the Nordic region. And people need understandable bills, which include both the price for the utility and the electricity. So the message from me and the Swedish government is clear. We shall be able to implement the common Nordic retail market in 2015. At the same time, the common retail market is only one of the many steps we need to take to strengthen the consumer in the energy markets. Smart meters, smart grids, and hourly rates make it possible for consumers and households to adjust their consumption to the price signals and to market signals. And if we are able to put that in place, consumer power will become a reality. And we are taking decisive steps in this direction. We have created opportunities for residential customers to have their power consumption measured by the hour. We have set up a coordination council for development of smart grids. This could be a critical success for Sweden in the future, for the Swedish industry to exploit. And through that council, we will increase the knowledge about how to use information technology to make new features available to the electricity consumers. Our energy consumption and our energy production are undergoing rapid changes. More renewables, more efficient use of energy, and more of choice for the consumers. Over the coming decades, we will see enormous investments worldwide in new renewable energy power generation, in energy efficiency, as well as in smart energy infrastructure. And I'm glad to say that Sweden is fully committed to being part of this development. And we should be able to take also the wins from this development. It's also time for Swedish business to step up further and exploit all the wins that can be taken out of this very important development. We have the technological expertise, and we have consumers that are willing to take an active part in this development. And it also seems to be the clear conclusions what I view as a great review from the International Energy Agency. And I'm happy to see that you consider that Sweden in the past 5 years has taken several significant steps in the right direction. And it's with a certain degree of pride that I can say that your recommendations will be used in our ongoing efforts to improve our energy policy. And I hope that in 5 years we will be able to meet some of your recommendations. Sweden is truly well placed to continue its journey towards a more competitive and fully sustainable energy system. Our abundant natural resources make our potential truly magnificent. Our policy framework is stable and set up clear division between the role of the government and the role of the market. And our shared ambitions and shared policy work with our Northern European neighbors are of a great value. These are resources that the government will build on when we continue our work to realize a sustainable, competitive, and secure energy system. Thank you very much.